That's interesting. That should have worked, but it didn't. I think it's because I don't have auto. Changes. Branch master. Initial. Commit. I've got one changes to a submodule. Alright, we'll commit that then. Unexpected sequence in commit output. What on earth is this thing trying to do? Wow. Alright, let's do it from down here. Nothing on there. This is going to be an awkward sod. Yeah, it's got these pushes outstanding. 2 unpushed commits. Okay. 1 change. Alright, stuff it. I don't care. They'll have to just wait until I've got time to do it. I don't think this... Well, really, I should show you how I do it, but... this thing can be a little bit awkward to do. Except... So it does that. That's fucking brilliant. I can't put this one on, can I? SSH hyphen keygen. Yeah. Oh no, I've already got one. I've already got a keygen. So yeah, there we go. SSH copy ID to root at 10.10.1. Oh god. 1.1. Are you sure you want to continue connecting? Yes. Can't be established. No. Host key verification. That's the first. There you go. I can't even get my host key to work. And it's not going to accept a local. It has to go to somewhere stupid, does it? Why can't I just have no push? I just want a local repository then. Oh well, never mind. Right, so I've got our game loop. Is our game loop working? Yes, it is. We've already declared that part. Check that it is. There we go. We should be back to a black screen because we haven't got shaders. We should really replace our depth buffer. Key. Come on, just close. So we've got a clear colour going. Right. We aren't clearing buffers. Right, that's fine. Now, our next stage on here, well, there's two stages. One, we want a renderer. And secondly, we want shaders. Okay. I think shaders are going to be the hardest part to do. Amber Oak. Add. New folder. Resource. Resource. As. In resources, we are going to add the following. New folder. GLSL. Now, once we get GLSL in there, we'll also need to add new folder, and that will be models. And we can also add now a new folder for textures, because we're having textures. Yay! We haven't got them yet on this version. We have on the metal side, so we may as well add them here. Can't see why not. We may as well just populate all of that lot. Alright, so let's go into our archive. Sandrogue. Alright, so we have GLSL. Well, we do have colour. Alright, so we've got something to work with. Why is it doing that strange thing again? Why didn't it put them in the folder? That's the shortcut. I want the full copy. There we go. That's all it needed to do. Not sure about this one either. Alright, these are tests. We only actually need ASCII 3D. For now. Because I did it differently and it was a better way of doing things. Just wondering, should I put a test piece in there? Yeah, we should really. This could get a bit messy otherwise. Let's try these two. And we'll pop those in as well. Got no textures. Okay. Textures, archive, metal rogue, resource, textures. There's two. Copy you two. Muppet. You found somewhere to go now, have you? There we go, I've got a couple of textures as well. Click on refresh and it should all populate. Fantastic. We are winning slowly, which means I need a cup of coffee because otherwise I'm going to start suffering now. And we're at, oh my god, we're nearly at 4 o'clock and I'm only on my third cup of coffee for the day. So this is cup of coffee time. Do apologise, I do have to have a drink sometime. So I shall be right back. Alright, so we've set up the project and we've got our main game loop. We have a window that's rendering and in OpenGL 3.3 as well. It's even better. I've got an error network on one of my browsers. That's good. And an error network on the other browser. Both very, very good. That's interesting at tea break time. Okay, back to Windows 10. Oh, and I've got adverts on the refresh. You spectacular stupid Twitch. Get those adverts off me. Annoying. Right, so if adverts are running, I suppose I'll wait again now for everybody to watch their adverts. Great. For those of you on YouTube, you're lucky. You don't have to suffer adverts. But you do have to suffer for me waiting for them. How careless of Twitch to do that. I wouldn't mind if they paid me. I don't think they ever have. Mind you, I've never claimed payment, so that's probably why. Right. So the code that we wrote, our development code, is not too bad. Up to now, it's been very clean. Functionality-wise, anyway. Now we need to get into the business of making a game properly. The first thing we need to do is split this down into parts. Luckily, we do have a way of doing this. Now remember, all the code's been tested, so I don't have to run this program once between now and completion. That's the first thing. It's not about writing a little bit of code and running it. This is now about completing a project. We have oodles of code. Enough to fill probably about 40k of memory. That's enough for this. I mean, I think it was originally done in about 16k, but I've added 3D on top. So, But this really isn't where we want to be, is it? This part here. We save. I don't know what the changes were. I don't care. That's it. That's what I wanted. Look at that. It's got swirlies on that as well. Oh, this is fantastic. Lovely. If I put my phone in a different place. Let's put it over there because it's don't to you. Thank you for bringing. I can bring this forward. Wipe it down a bit. There we go. Just wipe it down from where the cat's been sitting on it. Knock everything over there. That's great. Have we got a mouse pointer? Yes, we have. Just thinking how I can do this. Alrighty. Pop you over here, I suppose. Nothing there. What's that one? No, that'll do. So what we have is a main game loop. We have main. Into our main game loop. Right. Get the pencil out of the way. As the system goes, your main game loop just needs to go down arms. It just wants to take one thing at once and do it. Oh, that didn't work. You'll see a lot of these people who are writing games saying you need layers and stuff. Why? Is that because they can't cope with programming the game, or they don't have a plan, or what? I don't know. So off here, we are going to have the bottom of the game loop comes off here. And that comes down to our rendering. Okay. The first thing that this will be doing is initial state. We will have to set the initial state of the game. Main will cover the window. And your shaders. There is no point in running a game loop without either of those two things. You should be stopping in main if they aren't available. If you haven't got one of them, nothing's going to happen in your game. Doesn't matter what you program in here, it'll be a waste of space. So, yeah. Don't run a main game loop without a window or shaders for 3D rendering. There we go. We're going to use texture as well. So I don't have the texture shaders yet. We need to write those. Let's see what's obvious at the moment. Why is this? Oh, right. Okay, it's in silly mode now, isn't it? Okay, just pop you out of the way. Thank you. We have two. Oh, we have a model warehouse as well. So inputs. update input, update logic, update camera, update GUI. That's what that says. All right. Let's have a look at that then. So the first one is, if the cat gets out of the way. These should all start with the word update. Which order do you do them in? Well, this order is correct, but which order do you do them in? That's the whole point of this, is you update your input. That is your primary. You then do the next one. You update your logic. In other words, react to the user input. That is your primary goal in a game. If you cannot complete that satisfactorily, the game is unplayable. So those are your massive, massive, massive starters for 10. Okay. We can then, right down at the bottom, we've got update GUI, haven't we? Okay. Yeah, I'm going to put that here. If you're wondering why my handwriting is bad today, it's because I can't feel my hand. GUI. And this one was on camera. I'm not sure it goes there. It has to be done before the GUI, and it has to be done after the game logic, so it goes in this space here. We can leave the camera till whenever, but as long as it's in this space, it doesn't matter where. So I will put it here. Ooh, updater. That's an interesting one. Can we not have that? Thank you. Alright, so I got that. That was Metal Rogue, wasn't it? So pop you out. Source. Core. This is slightly more complicated, isn't it? That's game objects, I don't want that. Here we go. Now, what have we got in here that looks interesting? We've got an initialize. Game floor equals blah, blah, blah. Create. That's an initialize. dungeon level initialize, dungeon level current equals dungeon level initialize, position, player position is an initialize. Place player, place camera, initialize. Matrices, initialize. Light position, that's an initialize. Then comes the main runtime loop. Game state, initialize. Add some tests. Add some other rubbish for testing. We have game state. We haven't really updated. I think the game state should be updated anyway as you go through. Actions, that's game logic. Object update, obvious. There's a render all, swapping out. I've got a floor cleanup, which I shouldn't have. And a vector-free memory, which I should have. That's fine. So that's cleanup. Alright, so just got cleanup missing really at the moment. That comes here. Why does that keep flashing every time you use it? If you know. I don't know. Windows, you're so silly. Any other game state? Okay. I think we should be alright with that. How does that translate to what we're doing right now? Well, it looks pretty obvious, really. Let's write it up from there then. Right, so main needs shaders. Alright, we can close all this down now. Go back to a pointer thingy. Well, my pointer is actually my pen for my other thing, but never mind. I changed it all over. So, resources, you can close. keep that open for a second. So here in main, we have a window. So this is initialize main window. I'm sorry if you can't see what I'm writing, but I'll just say it. Initialize main window. I mean, I can switch that on and off, but it's a bit of... I don't care. Right. Then we want to initialize our shaders. For textures, because we're only going to be using textures. Then we're into the main game loop. So that's that. Main game loop, which we've all agreed on there. Anybody disagree with what I'm writing, by the way? Please say so. That's our cleanup area for main anyway. Alright, let me just show you what we've got so far. So, initialize main window, initialize shaders for textures, main game loop, cleanup, and then we're exit. That's fine. Absolutely fine. That's what we've got to manage. So yeah, the next thing we're going to do is initialize our shaders. Obviously, because our shaders have to come in here. Now we go on to the main game loop. This is going to be a bit more work. So we're starting here. First item is to set initial game state. So let's pop that in here. Set initial game state. Okay. At some point we do have to do this, which is start the main loop, which is there. Between there, is there anything? No, there isn't. So all of this area here is setting the initial game state. Okay, we then get to here. Or do we do it within the while loop? If we do it within the while loop, it could be awkward. Right, so we're going to write it this way. Poll the operating system for mouse and keyboard events. Alright, so that's that part done. We then decided that our update the keyboard, update input from the user. We then wanted to update our logic, update the game logic. That's obvious. Update game logic, update any other game state necessary. So we'll pop that one in, but we'll put that in brackets. Update any other game state here. Okay, that's that one done. Update camera, update GUI. Yep. Update camera and update GUI, graphical user interface. I don't like abbreviations. Okay. We've got that in now. Clean up and exit. That's slightly different here because it's got a while loop going. So this is clean up. Memory. That's it. That's the whole game in a nutshell. Just written it out. Oh, and we got the rendering. Don't forget the rendering. Oh, God, render all. In other words, don't mess about. Don't render a bit, then go off and do something. Come back and render a bit more. Render all of it. Swap your window. If you want a delay, you've got one, and then start your while loop again. There will be hardly any time spent in rendering. There'll be a millisecond spent in there. Literally. 1 to 2 milliseconds. The rest of the time you should be calculating things. If you can't calculate current things, then calculate them preemptively. Do not go backwards ever. Only ever calculate current and future. Alright, so that's a big must. We're only interested in what's happening now or what could happen in the future. Those are the two things. Otherwise, we're doing fine now. I think we've sorted it all out. We now have a full game loop. All we have to do is program bit by bit each one. And as we haven't got the initial part that we need, just make sure I haven't missed anything. No, I'm happy with that. Okay. I can keep you out of the way now. No, that's it. That is your full game. Don't really need these spaces in here yet. Trying to get it so it all fits on one window and it just doesn't. So you're probably thinking, yeah, you're writing C++ here, but you've got no classes. Well, actually, that's not quite right. We will be having classes. It's just that you have to realize we're going to have classes. Do you need a class to open a window? No. Do you need a class to load shaders? No. Do you need a class to run an event loop? No. Right. But we do need classes for things like game state. So I think we should add our first class. What should we call it? Game state, maybe? Okay, current game state. Yeah, okay. We'll call it current game state. How's about that? I think that's really fair. You're probably thinking, why don't you do all of the objects in main? Because loading up the objects has failures in it. So it can't throw an error. Well, it can, but it's not going to. The game will run with whatever it's been given. When it comes down to the models and objects, whatever it can construct or be given, it will run with. That's a priority, by the way. You should never fail a game whilst it is in the main game loop. If you do, what are you going to tell the end user? Failure to load such and such a model? Well, what's that to do with them? It's not their problem, that's yours as a programmer. If you fail to load something critical, you've goofed. That's bad programming. Don't tell the end user that it's not right. Tell yourself it's not right and bloody program it properly. Please do not, in this section here, from initialization all the way down to here, at cleanup memory, have anything that can stop the game from running, except for that one line there. In other words, they close the window. Or you close the window. I see too many times people checking for errors, checking for errors, checking for errors. Stop checking for errors and start programming properly. It's very annoying watching people program that way. That's just being insecure. It's not relying. You're not relying on what you know, what you can do, what the computer can do. You're not programming the computer. You're asking the computer to do things for you. And if it doesn't, then I'm going to go and cry. That's basically what you're saying. Don't do that. Program your computer. Tell your CPU what you want it to do. And don't back off. Make it do it. Don't say, oh, but it might not. No, say, CPU, hey, you, do this. That's programming. Pro means proactive. Gramming means text. Putting something into a readable form is gramming. So please be proactive. Do not be laid back and say, oh, I can error check this. No, you can't, because it's pointless. Is my answer to that one. Right, let's add our first class. This is C++. Let's add our first class. We shall add it here. Yeah, I'm in common. If you want to add your first class, we'll do it in common. And we'll say classes. structs. Oh yeah, that's a class, by the way, in C++. Struct. It does this weird kind of thing, dance with me. Okay. Okay. In the C++, how do you make a class? Well, you need a header file, you need a compilation file, a CPP. You need class, constructor, destructor, copy assignment. There's two others you need as well. Boolean assignment, equals assignment. You need quite a few things to make a class in C++, don't you? I think there's 5 basics. I'm not going to look it up because I can never remember them even after I've looked them up, so there's no point in me looking it up. There's another way in C++ that you can make a class, because a class is a struct in C++. The difference between a class and a struct is simple. A class, by definition, defaults to being private, whereas a struct, by definition, defaults to being public. That's it. That's all there is. So anything you can do with a struct, you can do with a class. And vice versa. So, we are going to write our first class, and it's going to be a type def. Let's have a look. Yeah, we can do that. It's not illegal. What did I say I was going to call it? Let's call it something. What was it? It was going to be current. Call it anything you want. Classes you can call anything you want. So it's current game state. Actually, no, we're going to call it game state current. Game state current. Alright, we're going to have one variable to start off with in this class. And then I'm going to tell you a secret. The variable is going to be a bool. And that bool is going to be called is game running. Because that's very important. We need to know whether or not the game is running or not. Put a semicolon at the end of that. I'll tell you a secret. The compiler will build me a default constructor, destructor, copy assignment, and all the rest of it for this. All of those 5 things I said you needed for a class are in there. It's just I'm going to get the defaults. That's all. Just because I don't put that there isn't one doesn't mean there isn't one. Oh, for God's sake, get rid of this 2000 error, will you, Twitch? You are starting to bug me with it. Thank you, I know I'm live. So, there's our first class. How are we going to use our first class? Well, first of all, we have to instantiate our class. So let's do that. We will go to main game loop. We'll go to our initialized state area. There you go, I told you it was a class. Current. And there's our class. Game statement current dot is game running equals true. no longer need that variable. So all I need to do now is copy you, our one class that we have, and pop you in there and there. Done. There you go. So please, if anybody comes along in the future and says, oh, but you don't use classes in C++, why don't you use classes? Just have. That's to stop that whinge. Let's see, anything else we need to do at that point? No, we're fine. We've got a black window, yeah, that's okay. I think really, after showing you how we're going to be using classes, yeah, ain't that a shocker? I want to check whether that window picks up or not. Should do. Yeah, Amber Rogue version 1.0 alpha. Fantastic. And yes, we are in core profile context. Yes, we have everything we need. So, we are back to the beginning. Our core's done. Our OpenGL will be completed soon, and we are on this. We don't have initialized shaders. Ooh. And we are on 434, so that's tomorrow's. That's where we're up to. Tomorrow we will initialize our shaders, and then we can go on to leave the main with its cleanup fully instantiated and its initialization fully instantiated. That's all we'll need to do for this section. And then our main program is complete. That is how I'm going to do this. I'm just going to go down the list of these comments that I've got, and I'm going to fill them all in until we've got everything. I will be doing rendering first when we get to the next stage, because we'll have our shaders. I can do the rendering. Right, that's fine then. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I'll leave it with... No, I've wiped it out, didn't I? Never mind. That's our program. We are successfully up and running with Amber Rogue. This is version 1 alpha, 1.0 alpha. It may go to version 1.1 depending on whether the alpha works in the way I expect it to work, which it probably won't. I mean, I'm not perfect. So, yeah, take care. Let's do the outro properly. I'd like you all to take care, peeps. I would like to thank all of those visitors who've popped in and anybody else who is going to be joining us in the future. Looking in there on, what's it called again? That YouTubey thingy? Yeah, YouTubey thingy. Fraser Sharp Place, yeah. Thank you. Thank you for bearing with us and being with us. Take care. And above all, I'd like you to have fun.